Nope. That might have been random. All right. So good. All right. I am joined by Blue Blimp. He's got his mic muted, but he might be here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, great. This is pretty exciting.
This is very exciting. You have done a phenomenal job on this DLC, IMO.
Oh yeah, well the whole team has done a pretty amazing job.
That's true. Yeah.
Like great new music, great new art, great new design.
Agreed. People were asking if Power Up Audio is still doing the audio. I'm assuming yes.
Yes.
Of course. Awesome.
Yes.
That's...
And there's some really nice ones. I really like the Earth spell sound. It's really good.
Earth spell sound. I was not paying attention to it. I don't use it as much because I still.
It's like a kind of like boom as the things come up. It's good.
Oh, nice. That is cool. All right. Well, I let them know we're ready. Do you have the RTMP link to watch this?
I do, yeah. So I'm watching Invert and Bacing. They're up first, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And they're about to get
Cool.
started. Hope everybody in the chat is ready for some wicked hot races. I think we're starting with Nocturna. Yes, indeed. This is going to be good. So we got Invert on the left, Bacing on the right. This tournament is crazy stacked. If you want to know the bracket, ! bracket will inform you on who's going to be racing, but this is like some tippy-top level racing, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the racers use Nocturna. I know I'm pretty bat-phobic when it comes to using Nocturna, but I've seen some excellent usages of the bat, and so yeah, we'll see what people end up using it for. And you're right. Thank
yeah,
you
I was
so much,
watching
Nathan.
Oblivion stream last night, and he was making really interesting use of bat form.
Yeah, he's really, from what I've seen, he is really good at using the swap appropriately, using it for the extra 4 damage when necessary, and then swapping back. You can see right there, Invert swapping to get that red dragon taken down. Pretty nice.
I guess maybe I should just mention for people who maybe don't know what bat form does. So you can toggle your bat form using the spell, and you get like you lose your inventory. You lose use of your inventory, but you get a variety of abilities. You get like a 4 damage dagger attack. You get like a circlet of telepathy, so you can see where all the enemies are, and you let me see, what's the other thing that you get? Oh, you're flying.
Yeah.
Oh, and also you regen as you kill stuff. You get like every 5 kills you regen a half heart.
Yeah, the bat is super strong, which is why they removed Dig, I'm assuming, because the Dig just made it like, okay, I'll just play as the bat the entire time. And okay, so Bacing did a little bit extra farming and found the Warhammer Courage, which, I mean,
it's like the most broken build.
It's the most broken build of all time. So we're already starting off with a pretty big meme here. There's a little peek from Invert. I wonder if he used the circlet ability or if he just accidentally fat-fingered transforming into a bat there. I don't know. Hard to know. But you can use a quick sort of sneaky peek with the bat to see whether... to see which way you have to head, although Zone 2 is generally pretty obvious. It's Zone 3, Zone 5 where you're going to want to be using that.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, when I tested with bat form, like the most recent bat form, I tend to use a lot of the start of floors to get mapping. Like I'll just toggle it on and off. Because like not being able to dig, you kind of have to toggle it off. But then you pay the half heart, right?
Yeah. And
the way Oblivion was doing it on his stream is he was very rarely using it for mapping. He was mostly using it at the end of floors to kill mini bosses quickly, and then toggling it back on the stairs so he doesn't pay the health cost.
Right. I feel like that's a, that's more of a speedrun tactic, like, because it's like if you're going for a PB, you have to just hope you guess right with your mapping, right?
Yeah. So Bacing's of course like just kind of chewing through stuff.
Yeah, you can watch Bacing just wreck everything, and it's funny too. I mean, this is actually a really strong combo, just even being gold. Like the thing is, Warhammer, it doesn't matter what. Oh no! And down goes Invert. Zone 3 death.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
Obsidian Warhammer pickup. What I was gonna say though is it does not matter which version of the Warhammer you've got. Base Warhammer, like I'll drop something for a base Warhammer even. I don't remember what my PB that I just had was, what the Warhammer was, but it was a Warhammer, so I took it.
So
ridiculous.
yeah, I guess you can see like Bacing as well. Like on this floor, if he wanted, he could have just done a quick toggle, pay a half heart for the mapping. Okay, now he's doing it. He's like, where do I go?
No, I'm confused. Yeah, now these racers are most likely using RTMP strats as well, which means that they're going to have very minimal lag between the two of them, so they can actually watch the other racer and sort of keep an eye on where they're at. So presumably, Bacing saw that Invert had died early, and Invert, of course, going for that Warhammer, knowing that he needs it.
Yeah, in that case, you know, you can just kind of take it easy, because you have a lot of time. Probably if you don't die, you're just going to win. But it's also like, on Nocturna, you have a lot of flexibility to get yourself into bad situations and still survive because of the emergency bat.
Yeah, the emergency bat saved my PB just there, where I died to a Electromage. I find those Electromages kill me more often than anything else. They're real tricky. I don't dislike them, I just find them difficult.
Yeah, they fill a lot of space, right?
Right. And you kind of just forget about the fact that, like, those sparks are still going to do damage to you, even though you're, you know, mashing things or whatever. At least that's what I've found. With a Warhammer, you think you're safe, and then you're getting shot by all these sparks.
Yeah, Warhammer's not completely 100% mindless, just like 95% mindless.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
it looks like this time around, Invert got himself the Warhammer Courage.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good call. It's kind of going to be, I think, the story of today is who can find Warhammer Courage, because it's so good.
It's funny, like, it shouldn't be that common to find it, but I guess,
Well, any Warhammer's good. It's just a matter of finding Courage, because you
I
know,
see. So yeah, you don't even need a good Warhammer, right?
No.
It's just you take
Base
like a
Warhammer
base
is all you
gold
need.
or whatever.
Yep. Also, we got the double Courage build, the Courage transformation over on the basic side with the Ring of Courage and the Shovel of Courage. I love the Shovel of
like
Courage.
full Courage build.
I think Shovel of Courage is just great. It's just a fun, good item. And it is the old Miner's Cap, pretty much, right?
It's like old Miner's Cap, except with the iframe.
Yeah, the safety. Right.
Yeah, because the original Miner's
bad.
Cap, right, it had this problem that you would dig into walls, and then you just instantly get dunked by whatever was behind it.
Right.
And the solution to that was to make it do the adjacent dig.
Yeah.
But that, I think, was before Ring of Courage was created, right?
I believe you're correct, yeah.
So, like, at that time, the solution of, oh, give you an iframe when you dash was not, like, a known thing. So now, like, now, in hindsight, knowing that Ring of Courage exists and, like, that solution works well.
Yeah, it's, like, obvious.
An item like this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, of course it should give you the iframe. All right, and we've got Bacing on zone 4 or 5. It's weird to say zone 5.
It's like, okay, so, like, he almost did the minimum possible walking path from, like, entrance to exit. He had to, like, detour by, like, one tile.
That's amazing.
Because it's just like,
zone
I mean,
5 can be pretty tricky.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny because, like, he has the full Courage build with Warhammer, so he can almost just click in whatever direction he wants and, like, not get stopped by anything.
Yeah.
Zone 5 is probably, I think, the least allowing of that, just because, you know, there are the electric zombies, which
Yep, they can be annoying.
piercing is not good enough.
Yep, the electro zombies as well as the spark mages can be pretty tricky sometimes.
But it was still really fast.
Yeah, he's doing just fine. This is a pretty quick run. Fortissimo is, I mean, I would imagine it's not perfect for everybody yet. Bacing really making short work of almost the entire crowd watching Fortissimo there, and that is it. GG. So Bacing taking the first one pretty much on the back of Invert's death. Congratulations, Bacing. Nice speed. 735, I think that's going to be pretty much like what you need to win these races, from what I've seen. As long as no one dies. Fortissimo is the only new boss currently, though there will be another story boss, is my understanding. I'm pretty sure that's been confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's been confirmed.
I'm not sure how much stuff you can say.
I'm not sure whether I should say whether it's been confirmed if I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push you on anything too much, but yeah. As you can see right there, Invert getting hung up on the electro zombies for kind of the exact reason we were just talking about. Also, this 5-2 layout's pretty brutal. It's just really unobvious on where it is. Although we've gathered that you can, that's a lot of zombies. We've gathered that you can know that the boss room is only one door away from the hallway. That seems to be part of the mapping, which is actually really helpful. When I knew that, I was like, oh, okay, so you know it's not this way, which is nice. How is the bracket seating determined? Well, let's just say Alexis just decided it. He's like, these guys are probably the best. That's what he said. This fight here.
And there he finishes up. Well, that was a really fast run.
Yeah, wow, 5:38 is pretty fast. I think that's the new seeded world record, to be honest. Because I don't think a lot of people play seeded.
What's the unseeded world record? Is it like sub 5 or something ridiculous?
It's 5. It's actually, I think that's close to it.
Okay.
What is the? I don't know. I don't have it handy, and I don't think it's pulled up on TOOFs. So
yeah, it's not on TOOFs yet, is it? Well, it can't be because they're not public yet. But
yeah, exactly.
I guess I could make them public now, right? So
yeah.
I'll do that after.
I mean, it's kind of nice that all the cat's out of all the bags. We can start talking about all this stuff. It's really exciting. Last night was really fun when like Mud Joe, Jack of Games, and Oblivion were all streaming, and just a million people being like, "What is happening? This is all crazy." I loved that. All right. So
yeah, it was interesting to watch. Well, you know, once it's up on streams, it makes it feel kind of more real than when it's just in the private development, right?
Sure.
Private
well,
testing.
I feel like you didn't watch a lot of people necessarily play it because we weren't really streaming it, right? I mean, sure, you probably watched some people. I don't know. Maybe you had a way of doing that, or you just had people in the office or whatever.
Yeah, I'd watch like Ryan playing it.
Yeah, right. But I mean, like watching the masses play it, and I think like as good as Ryan is, and I know he's very good at the game. Like then you throw in like the likes of Jack and Oblivion and Mud Joe and see what they can do. Spooty. It's crazy. All right.
Yeah, it is interesting to see it get optimized.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see, because Nocturna is arguably an easy character, one of the easier characters. I mean, the Zone 5 creep makes her a little bit harder, but I think still a pretty easy character, and it's interesting to see then how people optimize the fact that she's easy. How do you, utilize your health or whatever. Like the health regen means you can spend more health and that kind of stuff.
So they're alternating.
That's correct. Yes.
Characters. So now we're on cadence. Okay.
Yep. So just so everybody knows, the format of the tournament is we have actually 12 racers. So 4 racers got buys. Those racers were Jack of Games, Spooty Biscuit, Oblivion, and Mud Joe. Pretty much because they're kind of definitely the best racers. Though the other racers in the group are certainly no slouch. Definitely looking at Stake there. He, I think, was the highest seeded round 1 racer. Stake has certainly done a lot. But yeah, the way that this tournament's gonna work is we're gonna do best of 3s through all the rounds until the finals. And we're gonna alternate between, it's gonna be Nocturna, Cadence, and then if a game 3 is needed, Nocturna again. And we'll do that for every round. We were gonna just alternate every race, but we've decided just to make it a little more fair, you'll always go Nocturna and then Cadence, and then maybe Nocturna again. I throwing shade there, Mac? I don't think I was really throwing shade. You know your place. All right, so waiting for the racers to ready up. Trust that we'll get a little more efficient with the races here. Kind of a bit slow to get started.
Yeah, so with Cadence, in terms of just the zone geometry, you don't get the bleed. So the first 4 zones are pretty similar, but you're looking for new items mostly. So we'll see like how much of a kind of new build that they end up with.
Right. Yeah, you kind of obviously still want to push through the zone because you're racing. You don't have that bleed. So this is pretty standard, but there are a few changes due to the fact that there is a 5th zone. One of the main ones that's kind of interesting is the sort of nerf of floaty boots. So
because of the conduit.
Yeah, people try to steer clear of the...
Well, I called it conduit. It's actually kind of a better name than wire. But,
it's working. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, exactly. The floaty boots make you not able to use the wire because you float above it. And it's sort of the same with the bat form as well, because of the flying, which is cool. Is that the only way to get flying? Is be a bat or have floaty boots?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I wonder if there should be like a flight spell or something. That'd be kind of neat.
It would be kind of cool, right? Because that's fun when you use the bat for like temporary flying.
Yeah.
It's pretty useful.
All right, the ice familiar is one of the best sprites. It's so good. It's just a derpy snowman, and I love it.
Yeah, Ted did a really good one.
It's also like really good. It's the best familiar probably because it can allow for a lot of quick kills. It also synergizes really nicely. While phasing got a bit of a nerf, I think frost stuff got a bit of a buff, which is fine. I don't hate the frost dagger quite as much because it has some better pairings.
And it doesn't melt.
Oh, it doesn't melt.
It doesn't melt, yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I guess I never really said that explicitly, but yeah, I saw some people in Discord discussing it, so it was kind of discovered to some extent. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the melting was just a little bit too punishing for something that is not like, you know, that crazy strong anyway.
It's also not the most obvious interaction. And because it's sort of also not obvious, you'll just find that, oh, wait a minute, this isn't a frost dagger anymore.
So far, they're running like completely classic builds.
Pretty much, it's that, just that, oh, there it is. Okay, Glass Rapier. Now, there was an Obsidian Staff. I love the staff. I think that there is it's one of those, like, easy to use, difficult to master items. And interestingly, Bacing is going to swap to the staff, whereas Invert decides to stick with the classic Glass Rapier, which has fallen down the ladder of best weapons, I think, a little bit with all the new weapons.
Like, would you take a base Warhammer over Glass Rapier?
I did.
Oh, it's that broken? Okay.
In my PB run there, I swapped out the Glass Rapier for, nice. I think it wasn't a base Warhammer, but I probably would have taken. I did have Courage. That kind of made a bit.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. Because Glass Rapier isn't that good with Courage anyway.
Well, it's just scary. It's terrifying. Yeah. It's hang on and hope for the best. Yeah. Whereas,
so, like, probably for racing, the staff is going to be better, right?
Especially because Invert just broke it. So that's not good. I would just be dropping. Okay, he had 2 damage. I forgot that he had that ring.
Yeah, so I'm ever so slightly behind you, but I guess that's fine, actually. Better to have you spoil things than me.
I guess that's true. Oh, man, now we got a 5 damage, a 3 to 5 damage staff for Bacing, which is incredible.
Yeah, so that's quite a equipment advantage there.
Yeah, it's really strong. And it also allows, I really hope he can get the,
so
like, what's kind of great about that is if he can have the 5 damage for a Deep Blues fight, like if it's Deep Blues 2, 3, or 3, 4, or 5, you can still just walk up the middle and just shoot him, which is also fun. And actually, ooh, Invert taking a little bit of damage there.
Oh, that's gonna hurt because he needs the weapon.
Yeah, that's right. So he's rocking a shard again.
I wonder if he forgot he had Blast Helm, and then he was like, "Oh, I have Blast Helm." Remember at the last moment, and then was trying to adjust for it and just like did the wrong thing.
I have done that before. That's for sure.
Yeah,
nicely done by Bacing, using the Frost guy. Oh, and a Titanium Warhammer. Wow.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So is he now? I guess, yeah, I was gonna say, like, he was kind of behind because Bacing had such a nice build with the staff, but never mind.
Yeah, but now they're at, like, the same place, and he has better weapon.
Yeah, a 3 damage Warhammer is pretty freaking good.
Basing's doing, like, what, like 5 damage at max?
Yeah,
with his build?
3 to 5. Really strong, but a 3 damage Warhammer is all you really need.
Yeah, I mean, 3 damage is plenty, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the threshold required to make the game easy. But, I mean, it's also 3 piercing damage.
So let's see if he uses the throwing stars, because he should be able to just, like, double do it, and then, yeah.
That was a nice kill there. So yeah,
fast.
Yeah, 2 throwing stars to aggro him, and then a nice blast helm kill. Very nicely done. Yeah, there's been a little bit more dynamic killing based on all the new items. Which I think is kind of neat too. I appreciate that. So sometimes you really have to focus on your build and be like, oh, here's what I need to do with my build to kill this boss. Or, you know, here's one way. Oh, this will be a little faster. That's cool. Oh, that Courage Shovel though. Delicious.
Oh, wow. It's very crazy.
Yeah, this is good. He opens up
So
the urn.
he's like pretty far ahead now.
Yeah,
oh,
he's
that's
moving.
that's an okay urn. I guess like, you know, when you're ahead like this, then getting the kill spell is pretty good. So,
I think it's pretty much a race to see who gets the Warhammer. So far, that's what it's been. We'll see what happens. By the way, Bacing is now a 4 to 6 damage. Okay, run right up the middle, right up the middle. There you go. No, you can just one-shot the king. Ah, dang. Yeah, you can one-shot the king in that situation if you're Bacing, because you can just kind of, like the same way you do the glass rapier kill on deep blues, you just run up and just shoot him, and you have the damage for it.
oh, because he was on the 5 damage, yeah.
He would have been on 5 damage, yeah. Even if he was on no damage, killing the pawn would have given him the 5 damage, which would have then killed the king.
Alright, so Invert, like, got a food shop and completely tanked up.
Yeah, Invert's in real good shape
So,
right now.
it's probably not gonna die.
Whoop, okay, yeah, it's fine. I mean, Goo got nerfed, but you can still take a lot of hits.
Yeah, I say that and then he loses like half his hearts.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, Bacing. The teleport. Okay, Bacing is a little low on health. A little bit spooky. Could have taken the Shrine of Rhythm there, but I think like we talked about previously, like good meta is early Shrine of Rhythm, Zone 4, take it. But now that there's a Zone 5, you got another zone to struggle through going 7/8
Yeah, you
speed.
probably wouldn't take it until Zone 5.
Yeah. And the thing about Zone 5, like the reason you... oh, nicely done, Bacing. He just scooted right out of that situation. The reason you take it in Zone 4 is because there's no trapdoors, but now that there's trapdoors in Zone 5, I don't know. I don't even know if you take it. I don't know what it's worth. Oh, Bacing's in a real sticky situation here. Meanwhile, Invert is just smashing his way. Easy peasy. He swapped
Yeah,
the
that's a
Ring
good
of
point,
Might
because like if
out.
you take it in Zone 5, it doesn't save you quite as much time.
Yeah. The idea was that you know where the... oh my god, Invert is taking so much damage
oh wow,
to these
he
Spark
might actually,
Mages.
he's actually in trouble here.
Invert, you're at like a heart.
Oh
And
man.
that's not safe because Dead Ringer with the Warhammer, a little funky, and also the Necrodancer, which, by the way, I love the change to the Necrodancer. A lot
Yeah,
of
that
people
makes
are a
it
little
actually
salty
hard.
because it's so much harder, but yeah, it's not a free kill, which is nice. All right, Invert's screen is freezing a little bit here, but it looks like
he
he
got
did
a
get a
shield,
flawless
that's
kill.
really good. So, you know, he could, like, 'cause he's so far ahead, he could just, like, chill around, let beats run out so that he gets a longer shield.
Yeah, yeah, I do love that. That's one of those bug turn feature situations like the monkey hugs.
Oh, he didn't use a shield.
That's a bold move.
He'll probably be fine, but there are a lot more spawns now, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's got
He's
the
only on
panic
chainmail.
shield if he needs it. Meanwhile, Bacing is... oh, he's only dropping down to Zone 5, so... yeah, Bacing just could not keep up with that Warhammer. This is definitely proof that the Warhammer may need a bit of a nerf.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah, it looks like it got a bit overtuned. I don't know, it's always been this weapon that we're trying to find, like, a way to make it, like, not terrible, but also not broken.
Yeah, I like it strong. Like, I don't mind if it's one of the top items. It's just way too good right now. I'm sure you've read up on all the things. My sort of suggestion is either just remove piercing and see what happens, or go with a longsword splash. And one suggestion also, which was kind of cool, was a longsword splash where the longsword hitbox does piercing, but the splash around it doesn't. Maybe that's a little too technical, like it might be kind of crazy, but I think it'd be interesting. I don't know. Lots of things to think about.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I mean, trying it without piercing, if that does work, then that would be good, but, you know, based off just kind of whip experience, like, it would be so hard to approach Beetles and Blade Masters without piercing.
This is
because, like, you have to line yourself up at, like, exactly the right time, exactly the right kind of relationship to even be able to hit it, right?
Yeah, you'd have to waste a lot of beats and stuff like that. But I think that that's sort of the trade-off maybe, but maybe it would waste way too much time. But I feel like because it's so insanely safe that you give that trade-off of those shielded enemies.
Yeah, definitely something that needs a little bit of experimentation.
Interesting. It's me Rubel saying Warhammer should only initiate its hit like a dagger.
Oh yeah, so the original Warhammer actually did do that.
I was not a fan. I just felt there were too many splash daggers.
Yeah, because the staff and the harp work like that, where you have to hit like dagger to get the rest of their attack. It always felt like Warhammer was just kind of the third, like the least interesting of those three.
Agreed.
Because the staff and the harp both have this real, they feel like, oh, this is a really natural attack pattern to do, right? Because on one hand, it's just everything in a line, and the other one, it's everything around you, right? And the Warhammer is just like stuff.
Yeah. It was a little tricky to like set up multi-kills, and you kind of ended up just using it like a dagger, I found. And then if you killed something extra, okay, good. That was sort of how I felt about that. But I do like, I think thematically, I like the idea of a longsword hitbox.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Because it's like a hammer hitting and then it smashes around. So I like the idea of it having that sort of longsword hitbox. I think would be neat. And then, of course, if it needs to be buffed, then I don't hate the idea of a piercing where the longsword is. I think would be cool.
I mean, I think if it were like that, it wouldn't need the piercing at all, because then it's just like a longsword except better, and longsword is a perfectly fine weapon as it is.
Yep, that's true.
Perfectly fine, but not like so.
No,
strong
it's slow.
that
People swap the longsword out.
deal.
It's one of the lower tier weapons. Actually, I was talking about earlier, just as a random thought, when I got whacked by an ogre, and went, oh, it'd be kind of neat if there was an ogre club weapon that was just like, instead of a bow. Maybe it's unnecessary, I don't know, but just as a thought, and if there's a demand for more weapons, it's like a bow, a bow is to this club as a longsword is to a spear, where it hits all three. And just kind of smashy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's interesting.
Could be cool. I think, yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. It'd be fun with the warlocks in Zone 4. But maybe it's not
Basing's
interesting
gonna show
enough,
off probably show off the bat strats. Oh, he's not showing off the bat strats.
Yeah,
Maybe he
he's
doesn't know.
gonna. Yeah, interesting. There's quite the interesting bat strats. Maybe we'll see it from Invert here. The bat iframes are. Oh, this is sketchy. Ooh, he handled it. Can be a little bit spooky sometimes. I think the way that depending on which tentacles you get, I'm not sure exactly which one. I'll have to test it. But I think the bat form, you have to do different stuff depending on which tentacles come at you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've tried the strat just a little bit, and it's a pretty good strat.
Yeah, the iframe thing is really neat. It's one of those, I love a good, there's a term for it where something is kind of easy, but then it has all these sort of minute details that make it like you can really, I guess, master it. And so it has a really nice curve where, new people can use it and it's fine, or, you get the really expert usages of the iframes and stuff. It's like food. Food has a really nice curve where it's like, yeah, you just heal with it, or you can use it for some really nice iframes, save yourself some beats with minotaurs and things like that. It's good.
Yeah, and really, like, Nocturna as a character, although she starts with Cutlass, that's not, like, that unique. Yeah, it's all about, the platform has a lot of these different things, and, can you kind of be creative and figure out useful things to do with them, right?
We're seeing a difference in the Fortissimo strat here, where Invert is using bat form, whereas
which
Bacing
lets him get off just like a single hit.
Yeah, Bacing had to hit him multiple times.
Did he actually
to take
hit him
time.
3 times with it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it takes a while, especially the thing you got to pay attention to is when he's popping out of the ground, the skeletons can really throw you off. If you're too focused on hitting Fortissimo, you're gonna get whacked by a skeleton, cost you your your flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun. I hope people in chat are really excited about Tuesday, because I'm excited to see people playing this game all over Twitch. It's such a fun DLC. I've really loved it. I really feel like it came together really well based on the sort of way things were at the testing. I think it's really, really nice now, which is great. And yeah, super fun. I'm having a blast with it.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that people are enjoying it, because I mean, when you're making it, it's like you don't know how it's gonna go over, really.
Oh god. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh man, what a
whole
swarm.
Situation with Bacing was real bad. It was I think the conduit going away due to elemental stuff, which was rough. But he did actually bypass Invert. Invert having a little bit slower of a zone 3, so now Bacing's got the lead here.
Those deep blues. It's interesting to transform to bat here because he won't be able to one-shot the king. Maybe he wants the regen,
health.
actually.
It's got to be, yeah. Definitely going for the health. He was at half a heart, so this is probably a pretty good call.
The thing you can do as Nocturna, though, is like if you're on half a heart, you just sit on half a heart. If you get hit, you become a bat, and then you just like heal up until you're at 1 heart and just switch back.
Yep.
So it's much, much less dangerous to be on a half heart as Nocturna than Cadence.
Absolutely. Also, I was rocking, when I was playing some Monk earlier, I was rocking a blood build, and I wonder how the blood build works with Nocturna, if it'd be worth. Because it's so much safer to be on half a heart. Like, I love a blood build. If you can do it right, like with Monk, it's easy to put together because I had a blood rapier and a blood shovel. And so anytime I healed, I would just dig and then be on infinite damage again. And I wonder, and it's so much safer with Nocturna because if you get hit, you just turn into a bat.
Oh, you got a heal spell too.
Yeah, that's nice.
I guess like he's suffering a bit from not having damage. Well, neither of them have damage.
Yeah, that's sort of the trade-off with Cutlass. What makes Cutlass good is if you get the damage, but otherwise...
It seems like the Nocturna, I don't know, racing meta or something is you just never switch off Cutlass.
That was kind of what people say. Now, I love that, that the club, when you parry it, just knocks you like all the way across the map.
Yeah, I mean, that was unintended. I don't know if it's a bug, but it seems weird.
It's kind of great, though. I do love it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right, well, this is a super close race. Just a reminder that the winner of this will move on to round 2. They will be up against, hold on, wait for it.
Oh.
Who are they going to be?
Oh, so this is actually elimination race.
Yeah, this is best of 3. This is a straight up elimination. I believe the winner of this moves on
there's an urn. A Nightmare
Mudjo.
smashed the urn.
Oh, I missed the urn.
Oh, you got Earth Spell. We haven't seen Earth Spell yet.
Yeah, Earth Spell's an interesting one. That's another one that I think can be really well optimized. Currently not, though. The Ogre Parry. It's good.
Yeah, it's kind of neat because like if you use it for safety, it usually slows you down a lot, or at least by somewhat. But if you use it for speed, then it can really speed you up a lot.
Yeah, and you can also you can parry in the right direction. If you're really good at it, like if you're paying close attention, you can.
So there's a situation where like if you wanted, you could use bat form to get over those spikes, speed you up a little bit. The detour wasn't too long though, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We've got
it's one of those things where if you're like really comfortable with bat form, you can find these kind of small optimizations.
Yeah, it just has to be worth. Oh, and Bacing goes down. That's probably gonna cost him.
Oh.
Now Zone 5's no peach, especially with only 2 damage. But a Cutlass, you know, is pretty safe. For those who get started playing this game, the key to Nocturna that we've sort of found is always get to that conduit whenever you see it and stand on it. And you'll find that enemies will just melt away, which makes things really good. And makes it a lot more, it's not the most obvious strategy, but once you start doing it, you're like, oh, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's funny. We went through, like, in development, we went through, like, I think 3, like, completely different versions of the wire before we found one that actually, like, is fun.
It's so fun. It's what makes Zone 5 fun, in my opinion. It's just like, oh, look at all, and especially because of the skeleton head thing, like where you're just wrecking everything. Everything just melts in front of you is super fun.
Yeah, it's just like massive explosions. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's good. Oh, actually, that's an interesting thing also. Bacing right now having to wall bump with the bat. Suggestion I threw on the boards there was beating the wings, like give them just a pseudo war drum just to not have to do that because, you know.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking of doing is just making it so that if you wall bump as a bat, you just don't lose your multiplier.
Oh yeah, that works too.
Because then it's like, you know, because like the wall bump itself, like the fact that you don't move and don't do anything is actually kind of fine, but it's just kind of annoying to lose your multiplier. It's like
It just kind of gets away from a core mechanic of the game of keeping your multiplier up. Like you'll find yourself in situations where you have to wall bump or else you're going to take damage, and so you're forced to lose your